you can see that this is an appalling, essentially toxic, ultra-processed product that the child at a very young age has become essentially addicted to. And then when you have children round and you try and feed them some sensible food, maybe some vegetables and some eggs and some meat, they sort of turn their nose up because they're so programmed to eat this appalling industrialized food with incredible health consequences for later in life.
Exactly, and I love that word. It is appalling, and it's funny. I often say history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. And I believe that there was a very similar situation with cigarettes and tobacco in the 1960s and 70s. Everyone used to smoke. Doctors used to smoke on ward rounds. Patients used to be given cigarettes. There was a complete ignorance of what is happening. I actually truly believe that this situation is orders of magnitude worse than smoking. And let me tell you why. With smoking, it took years to develop health problems. When did you ever see a teenager with lung cancer or another problem? It took decades. But you are seeing teenagers now with type 2 diabetes and fatty liver disease, which has never happened before. So in some ways, weighing up two evils, I'm not encouraging smoking by any stretch of the imagination, but I believe ultra-processed foods are far worse. They're making people way sicker. If you look back to the 60s and 70s, complete ignorance from the medical establishment and mainstream media, who were often paid off by cigarette companies, they held out for as long as possible before they finally realized the damage that's being done. And you're seeing the same things now, but I am worried that by the time the dam breaks, because it will, no mistake, John, break, because this is going to bring down entire nations. You can't have a situation now like in the US where 50% of all children are overweight or obese and 20% of them have fatty liver disease, which no pediatrician ever saw. Think of what this is going to be in 10 years' time. I worry that we're going to realize, and I worry that the medical system, which in the US is incentivized to actually make money from sick people, especially younger people, so there's no incentive from the top to fix this problem. But when we do eventually realize, I'm worried that it's going to be too late. I actually think every doctor, personally, if they really care and they remember why they went into medicine, should be waking up in a cold sweat every night, wondering what's going on, because 80% of everything we're seeing is due to insulin resistance and inflammation from a toxic food environment. It's astonishing that we think the answer is to pile more medicines or give people semaglutide. I mean, had this catastrophe happened in the 1970s, where doctors had more sense eventually and said, you have to stop smoking, I worry that if we had the same mentality then, they would have said, oh, it's okay, keep on smoking, we'll just put this filter in your lung, or we'll just inject you with something every month. It's a ludicrous situation, not focusing on the root cause.
Smoking could be a good opportunity for people that make anti-cancer drugs, and cancer is a good business opportunity, sadly.
It is. As is the diabetes industry, yep.
Yeah.